So hey guys, as you know, today is Athlete Inside first IG Live. Many of you will be asking, what are we doing? Or maybe, what are we doing on IG Live? Athlete Inside is being always proud to go out and meet people. And as you know, these days it's been a little bit harder. So as everybody's doing IG Lives and everybody's at home and it's a little bit easier for everybody to step in and watch. So why not to do a little bit of Athlete Inside for everybody to share. I always have the chance to meet amazing athletes around the world. And I want to share what I have, the people that I have met with you guys. And before we go with our guest for today, I want to tell a little bit what is Athlete Inside and why did I start it. So some of you know me, I've been doing CrossFit for a while, but something that I like the best about the community is seeing people growing around you and just getting so strong and inspiring each other. So when I start seeing my co-athletes getting so strong and being so proud of themselves, I wanted just to keep those moments and share with, not just with those athletes, but with other people that think that you cannot do these things because you haven't trained before or because you are not strong. But we all start at some point and we all start somewhere. That's why Athlete Inside is started. Over the years have developed a little more as a photography, but I think this year and 2020 for all of us, it was really important for me to bring it back to basics, that is inspire others. And that's why we're bringing today Paulo. I met Paulo this year when I wanted to start Project Athlete Inside. Man, if you haven't followed him on Instagram or see him around, he is just an amazing guy. Every time that you talk to him, every time that you see a post of him, there is no way that you don't want to go out and do something because he's just so inspiring. Besides that, he's Latino. He has super cute hair. He has an amazing smile. So we are going to talk about with him a little bit about his experience, what had happened with him, and what different things in his life have helped him to be where he is now. And before I forget, something that I love about Paulo is how raw and honest he is. I think you always see on Instagram or anywhere people that is always so happy and they do so well, and it's so hard to believe that they struggle with life and they struggle by having issues in their life. But Paulo is always really open to sharing these feelings, and honestly, it just let us know that we are all in the same place, that we all can improve and that we can all get better. And of course, that sometimes we're going to have bad days and sometimes we don't want to go and train. Sometimes we don't want to wake up or go to work, but we just have to keep going. So Paulo, if you are there, send me the invite. Let's invite you, have you over. I want more with him. Please, if you have any questions for me or Paulo, just make sure that you pop them there. Hey, how are you? Oh, my goodness, I love your hair.
I know, it's a little bit different, but you know, it is what it is. It's not too bad.
I love it. I don't know if you, well, I don't know. I'm Colombian. So when I was little kid and I will go to the coast, these will be the hair that you need to get.
You gotta have it out here.
Like Shakiritas. I love it.
It's perfect for the weather.
Oh, yes, for sure. Hey, Paulo, let's start a little bit telling me about you, who you are.
I'm Paulo. I'm 21 years old. I'm a T3 paraplegic, which means I'm paralyzed from the nipples down. I use a wheelchair. It's not going to heal. I like going outside. I like to see how fast I can go. Get up to trouble mostly, you know, just hanging out. Just doing me, you know?
Just hanging out.
Always having fun.
Always having fun. Yes. I think this question you already answered, but what do you think is the first thing that people notice when they see you?
Usually it's my hair. It's always stood out. It's always been different, especially on North Van. Like, you just don't see it all that often. So it's definitely something that sticks out. Then obviously the wheelchair would be a close second place. Like it's not the most eye-catching thing, but it's pretty hard to miss. I'm 3 feet tall, roll everywhere, legs don't work, so it's a little bit noticeable, but it's not the
Yes.
worst thing in the world.
Not the worst thing. And now that we're talking about your accident, how much do you think has your life changed since your accident?
It's changed a lot, and like it's changed a lot physically in like the most obvious ways, right? Like I use a wheelchair, I can't walk, I can't jump, like I can't swim very well, like a little bit, but I drown mostly. But a lot of mental changes too. Like I've just grown so much as a person through experiences that it's quite interesting to watch, especially from like my own point of view.
Do you think that you were these teach you something that you were not getting before?
Yeah, it's taught me a lot of things that I just wouldn't have had the capacity to really involve myself in. Like a lot of stuff like patience, helping others, being compassionate. It's just not. I was racing through the world on like an F1 car. I just didn't stop to look at what was going on around me or what happened. So it's really nice to be able to slow down and kind of be able to observe everything because I would never would have done that before.
Uh, yeah, I was trying to remember myself as a 21-year-old, and yes, I think that's what happens so many times that and I think these days, even with so many technology, I'm old, so with this technology these days, you really don't have the time to stop and think what is great about you and what just life had blessed you with. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like it's nice. It like gives you a whole different view of everything that's happening. Like it might be a bad situation, but a situation is only as bad as you make it. If you can turn it around and make it something great, maybe it's not all that bad to begin with.
um, So, what belief have you hold which so many people maybe will disagree with?
Being honest, like looking in the mirror and telling myself, you're fat, you're lazy, you're uninspired, you didn't do nothing today. Like you don't deserve that meal. We didn't work out. Like, why you need that? So I think it's not a conversation a lot of people like to have with themselves, but mirrors don't lie. You see what you see, and that's you. If you're fat, you're fat. If you're lazy, you're lazy. And that's things that I was and that things that I still struggle with, but I'm working towards an end goal where I'm not there anymore. And then my goals and the way I see myself will change. And like with that will come new challenges, and I'm all for it.
So, what is when do we cross that line? When do we cross that line of we see in the mirror and yeah, we see all these things that we don't like and we move on?
It it starts when you start being honest with yourself, because you can lie to a million people and they'll never know. But when you lie to yourself, you know right away, and it's pretty easy to tell. It doesn't take a genius or a computer to tell you what's wrong with yourself. You look in the mirror and it'll tell you. A puddle will tell you it's the exact same thing.
Um, so let's keep in that line. If you have to tell a big group of people a message for them to just cross the line, what will be? Simple one.
I'd say I'd say don't be afraid of failure. Failure is a gift. It's a beautiful thing. It gives us a new way to see problems, challenges, a way to overcome, a way to help others. Failure is what breeds great success. You can get to success and you can be at a point where you're happy, but you'll never be more than that if you don't fail, if you don't strive to fail, because it gives you the tools you need to build something more, build something greater. So I think that's a really important message that I would share with people.
What if do you have in mind like a failure that you say, oh my, I don't know what happened in that moment in my life, but maybe it brought you to greatness for today?
Well, greatness is really something that can be measured with something as small as getting up from the ground or building a business. You can't define someone's personal greatness because to them it's really close to your heart. It's personal, so you can't take that from someone. So one of my greatest things that I was super proud of was when I got up from the ground to my wheelchair, and it took me like a year to learn, a year to get the muscles, a year to develop how to do it. It's not a hard thing to do. It's not something I would ever think twice about, but I did because it took me so long to get there. And it took me all those failures that I had to learn from individually, hundreds and hundreds of times to finally be able to do it. Now I can do it and I can do it with no problem. But it's given me the ability not only to get up from the ground, but to teach others how to get up from the ground, how to do it safely, how to do it in different ways, how to make sure you don't hurt yourself. And it's a gift. Like failure is the most beautiful thing in the world. And it's so sad that there's so much stigma around it because it's the only thing that really matters at the end of the day. It's what lets us grow.
Definitely, that's how we learn every day, and I think like more people like you keep talking about their own failures, just bringing up that freedom for others to speak up and said it's okay to fail, and just make sure that you learn from it.
Like clear communication with others is super important, but it's most important with yourself because that's where it's the hardest. You'll tell yourself like, oh, maybe I'm hungry at night. I'll eat that donut. Or I got to work out today. I just don't have to, but you do, and it's really you feel a lot better when you did something good for yourself than when you don't. Like, I could stay in bed and watch Netflix all day, but I'm not gonna feel very good when I go to sleep. I'm not gonna feel like I deserve to sleep. Why? What did I do? But when you go out and you push yourself, it's an incredible feeling. It's definitely worth it.
How are those night rides going? I mean, I see you're mapping going on night rides all about North Van to West Van.
Yeah, it's I get bored and I don't like to sleep. Sleep makes me feel unaccomplished. I just don't like it. I feel like it's a waste of time. So I try and sleep as little as possible. And like rest is super important. Don't get me wrong. Rest is in results. Like you gotta rest to get there. But I definitely like to push myself. And at night it's even funner because it's really dark. So it's scary. So you go faster. And it's definitely a good motivator, when you're worried about the boogeyman chasing you. So it's not
Do,
all fun and games, but it's pretty important
do
to
you
do.
know how fast can you go?
Like over distance?
Yeah, like I don't know, like what is the fastest in one, I don't know, how you measure that by distance, or like do you do like 1,000 meter, I don't know.
No, I don't do that. I just see how far I can go and just see how fast I can go, really. And going down hills is the best part. Like, I'll go on the street and just see how fast I go. Like, if you fall, you fall, you probably die. But if you don't, you're smiling, right? And that's at the end of the day. Like, if I'm not smiling, I don't want to do it.
Yes. And let's to finish up, what are the three mindsets that have helped you through the years, and how?
Mindsets to me have changed a lot. I'd say they used to change maybe every 2 years before my accident. And recently, they've been changing every 3 months. I used to have terrible mindsets. I was lazy and I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't stick to anything. So now I'd say my current mindsets are commitment, accountability, and work ethic. And with those three things, I think I've gone farther than with anything else. So I'm sticking with those. I would experiment with different ones here and there, but those work the best in conjunction. So I'm focusing on that. And it's great. Like accountability, staying honest with yourself is super important because otherwise you're going to get lost in the web of lies that you tell yourself every day. And commitment, I always had trouble with that. I couldn't commit to anything. And so I've been really working on that, and it's finally getting me to a place where I feel like I'm reaching results, which is also amazing. And work ethic, staying consistent with everything that you're doing, because if you're eating healthy today, that's great, but if you eat McDonald's tomorrow, it's not going to help you a whole lot. Like if you work out today, it's great, but if you work out next week and there's a week in between, what are you doing? So just trying to stay really consistent with everything across the board is where I'm trying to focus, and it seems to be working. So I'm going to stick with it for a little longer.
I mean, you've been doing so good. And I know that I say last question was the last question, but if you just go back maybe like a year ago and then you see yourself today, what do you
Mm,
think
a
that
year ago, I
old
was a
Paulo will
lot more
think?
nervous.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah, and I always hid my insecurities with confidence. So if I was nervous about something, I'd do it all like 100 times. I'd repetition. That's how I get over things. I do it more and more and more and more. But to get there, you have to hide it. And well, at least I felt I had to. I didn't want to see people. I didn't want them to know I was nervous to do something. So I would do it, and I would do it to an extent that it looked like I was very comfortable with it. But that's when I was the most uncomfortable with it. And it's not a bad thing to do it that way. Like fake it till you make it. There's nothing wrong with that as long as it gets you to a good result and you do it safely and healthily. All the power to you. I'm not going to take it away from myself, and I don't think anybody should take it away from themselves either.
Nice.
It's an important stepping stone.
For sure. And again, this is it. But Paulo, thank you so much. I love to see
Of
you,
course.
and thank you for sharing. You are such an inspiration. You know that I have been telling you for a while. And if you haven't followed Paulo, what is your Instagram account?
Polo Wheels. Polo Wheels with a Z.
Yeah, so make sure that you follow him, and then you can see how he just go all around West Van and North Van on his for to his wheels, Paulo wheels. Uh, oh my goodness, I'm always so jealous that you're always out there doing your thing. I love it.
Yeah, just
Uh,
have
that's
fun with
it
it.
for
Really, that's
today.
it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining us. Thank you, Paulo. Have a great
Thank you.
rest of your day.
You too.
And let's see. This is it. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.